Welcome to Civil Engineering for Learners. By Dr.K.Aravinthan. Waste Management. Hazardous waste management. 1 is generation. Hazardous wastes are generated in limited amounts in a community, and very little information is available on the quantities of hazardous waste generated within a community and in various industries. Hazardous waste generation outside the industry is irregular and very less in amount, rendering the waste generation parameter meaningless. The only practical means to overcome these limitations is to conduct a detailed inventory and measurement studies at each potential source in a community. Because the occurrence of spillage cannot be predicted, the potential threat to human health and the environment is greater than that from routinely generated hazardous wastes. Two is storage. When large quantities are generated, special facilities are used that have sufficient capacity to hold wastes accumulated over a period of several days. When only a small amount is generated, the waste can be containerized, and a limited quantity may be stored. Containers and facilities used in hazardous waste storage and handling are selected on the basis of waste characteristics. Corrosive acids or caustic solutions are stored in fiberglass or glass-lined containers to prevent the deterioration of metals in the container. 3 is collection. The loading of collection vehicles is completed in either of the following ways. 1. Waste stored in large capacity tanks are either drained or pumped into collection vehicles. 2. Waste stored in sealed drums or sealed containers are loaded by hand or by mechanical equipment onto flatbed trucks. The stored containers are transported unopened to the treatment and disposal facility. To avoid accidents and the possible loss of life, 2 collectors should be assigned when hazardous wastes are to be collected. Number 4 is transfer and transport. The facilities of a hazardous waste transfer station are quite different from a solid waste transfer station. Typically, hazardous wastes are not compacted, mechanical volume reduction, or delivered by numerous community residents. Instead, liquid hazardous wastes are generally pumped from collection vehicles, and sludge or solids are reloaded without removal from the collection containers for transport to processing and disposal facilities. Five is processing. Processing of hazardous waste is done for the purpose of recovering useful materials and preparing the wastes for disposal. Processing can be accomplished on-site or off-site. The variables affecting the selection of the processing site include the characteristics of wastes, the number of wastes, the technical, economical, environmental aspects of available on-site treatment processes, and the availability of the nearest off-site treatment facility, example, haul distance, fees, and exclusions. The treatment of hazardous waste can be accomplished by physical, chemical, thermal, or biological means. Depending on the type of waste being treated, one or more of these methods may be used. Hazardous waste treatment operations and processes. Functions performed. VR equals volume reduction. SE equals separation. DE equals detoxification. ST equals storage. Types of waste. 1 equals inorganic chemical without heavy metals. 2 equals inorganic chemical with heavy metal. 3 equals organic chemical without heavy metal. 4 equals organic chemical with heavy metal. 5 equals radiological. 6 equals biological. 7 equals flammable, and 8 equals explosive. Forms of waste. S equals solid. L equals liquid, and G equals gas. Six is disposal. Regardless of their form, solid, liquid, or gas, most hazardous waste is disposed of either near the surface or by deep burial. Hazardous wastes disposal and storage methods. Functions performed. D equals disposal, ST equals storage. Types of waste: 1 equals inorganic chemical without heavy metals, 2 equals inorganic chemical with heavy metal, 3 equals organic chemical without heavy metal, 4 equals organic chemical with heavy metal, 5 equals radiological, 6 equals biological, 7 equals flammable, and 8 equals explosive. Forms of waste: S equals solid, L equals liquid, and G equals gas. As hazardous wastes can exist in the form of liquids, sludges, solids, and dust, a correct approach for co-disposal for each of the hazardous wastes should be determined. To avoid the co-disposal of incompatible wastes, separate storage areas within the total landfill site should be designated for various classes of compatible wastes. Liquid wastes are usually stored in a tank near the site and can be introduced into the landfill by means of trenches or lagoons, injection, or irrigation. Sludges are also placed in trenches. During the disposal of lightweight wastes, the disposal area must be kept wet to prevent dust emissions. Thank you. Happy learning. See you again.